You've had everything. Nurses, schools, college, although you never stayed there. You've had food, clothing. Oh, I know, you had a fling at hard work with your back and hands and a bit of being homeless and penniless in a foreign land, and I respect you for it. But it was a game of romance and adventure to you. It was play. So don't start your damned atheist morbidness again. I don't care to hear it. What do you know of the value of a dollar? My father, when I was 10 years old, deserted my mother and went back to Ireland to die, which he did soon enough and deserved to. And I hope he is roasting in hell. Oh, no, there was no damned romance in our poverty. Twice we were evicted from that miserable hovel we called home. My mother's few sticks of furniture thrown out into the street. My mother and sisters crying, and I cried too, though I tried hard not to because I was the man of the family. At 10 years old, oh, there was no more school for me. I worked 12 hours a day in a machine shop, learning how to make files. A dirty barn of a place where rain dripped through the roof, where you roasted in summer and there was no stove in the winter, and your hands got numb with cold, and the only light came through 2 small, filthy windows. And on gray days, I had to sit bent over with my eyes almost touching the files in order to see. And you talk about work. You know what I got for that? 50 cents a week. It's the truth. 50 cents a week. And my poor mother scrubbed and washed for the Yanks by day. My older sister sewed. My younger ones stayed at home to keep the house. We never had clothes enough to wear nor enough food to eat. Well, I remember one Thanksgiving, maybe it was Christmas, when some Yank in whose house my mother had been scrubbing gave her $1 extra for a present. And on the way home, she spent it all on food. I can remember her hugging and kissing us and saying with tears of joy running down her tired face, "Glory be to God, for once in our lives, we'll have enough for each of us." A fine, brave, sweet woman. There's never been a finer, nor a braver. Her one fear was that she'd get old and sick and die in a poorhouse. It was in those days I learned to be a miser. The $1 was worth so much then. And when you've learned a lesson, it's hard to unlearn it. Whose play is it? Yes. Maybe life overdid the lesson for me and made $1 worth too much. And then the time came when it ruined my career as a fine actor. No, I've never admitted this to anyone before, lad. But tonight I'm so heartsick I feel at the end of everything. So what's the use of fake pride and pretense? That goddamn play. That I bought for a song and made such a great success in, a great money success. It ruined me with its promise of an easy fortune. I didn't want to do anything else. And when I finally woke up to the fact I'd become a slave to the damn thing, I did try other plays, but it was too late. They identified me with that one part. They didn't want to see me in anything else, and they were right, too. I lost that great talent I had through years of easy repetition, never learning a new part, never really working hard at $35,000 to $40,000 net profit a season. It was like snapping your fingers. It was too great a temptation. before I bought the damn play, I was considered one of the 3 or 4 young actors with the greatest artistic promise in America. I'd worked like hell. I'd left a good job as a machinist to take super parts because I loved the theater. I was wild with ambition. I read all the plays that were ever written. I studied Shakespeare like you study the Bible. I educated myself. I got rid of an Irish brogue you could cut with a knife. I loved Shakespeare. I would have acted in any of his plays for nothing, for the joy of being alive in his great poetry. And I acted well in him. I was inspired by him. I could have been a great Shakespearean actor if I'd kept on. I know that. In 1874, when Edwin Booth came to the theater in Chicago where I was leading man, I played Cassius to his Brutus one night, Brutus to his Cassius the next, and Othello to his Iago, and so on. And the first night I played Othello, he said to our manager, "That young man is playing Othello better than I ever did." That from Booth, the greatest actor of his day, or any other. And it was true. And I was only 27 years old. And as I look back on it now, that night was the high spot in my career. I'd had life where I wanted it. And after a time, I kept on, upward, with ambition, high. I married your mother. Ask her what I was like in those days. Her love was an added incentive to ambition. But a few years later, my good bad luck made me find the big moneymaker. Oh, wasn't that in my eyes at first? It was a great romantic part. I knew I could play better than anyone else. But it was a great box office success from the start. And then life had me where it wanted me. At about 35 to 40,000 net profit a season. A fortune in those days. Even in these. What the hell was it, I wonder, that I wanted to buy? It was worth. Well, no matter. A late day for regrets.